Thanks, Rose. Give me
Thanks.
5 minutes just to let me
I
know.
will, yeah.
Yeah, my name's Michael, recovering addict. Yeah, and thanks for asking me to be upset. I didn't, you know what? I didn't want to. I've got to be honest. I didn't want to. I've got a step study group that I do on a Wednesday. There's a group of us with long-term recovery, and we meet online and we just go through the basic text, and we just kind of go through it, literature, and read and share and connect and have fellowship. That's just what we do on a Wednesday. And you know, as it happens, holiday season, people are away, and I was a bit indecisive. I wasn't sure if people were going to turn up to the group. And then when people said they were going away, I thought, okay. She's like, oh, I don't really want to do it. I can have a Wednesday off, you know. But yeah, it's good to be here. And yeah, she's long-term recovery. You know, on Sunday, my daughter, she decided to get baptized, and so she's gone up and she's really nervous because she's got to speak in front of this whole church and tell them what she wants to, why she's doing it. And so she gets up and she starts talking and telling the reason why she's doing it. But she's really shaky, she's nervous, you know, bless her. And it's a packed house, all her friends, family, everyone's come to see this and witness this. So the person asks her, why? What is it? And she says that earlier in the year, she was very depressed and didn't feel like being around. And it floored me. It floored me. I thought to myself, at that moment, my daughter's 21, going on 22. In all these years, I've been clean. I thought to myself, she's not had this kind of conversation with me. But she said it here now. And I was kind of glad that she said it there, to be honest, because it just really made me think. I wasn't blaming myself, saying I was a bad parent or anything like that. But it just allowed me to think. And then, earlier in the year, she came in and moved in with me. She came in and moved in with me. And, you know, my head was doing a number. You know, my head was going, blah, 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 blah. Then afterwards I thought about it and I thought, you know, my higher power sent her to me to live with me. Because since she's been with me, she's just... I've not witnessed it. I've not seen it. I don't know people can hide it. And we've just built a great... We've built a great relationship together, you know. And the reason why I share about that now, because I want to take you back maybe 6 years ago. You know, I've got a very good friend in this room. He's walked the journey of the recovery with me. He knows the journey. And that's what happens as time goes on, you know. When I first came in, I had loads of friends. It's kind of shrunk, you know. And I don't say this to blow smoke up people's eyes. I genuinely don't do this, what I'm going to say now. But I come here and I see people who've walked this road before me who've allowed me to be the person I am by sharing honestly and openly over the years, and they're still here. They know who they are. And that means a lot to me. That means a lot, because I get to meet, I don't see many people. And their head thinks, where are people? People are still around, and that means a lot to me. 6 years ago, I was working in an organisation. I was basically doing probably one meeting a week. Didn't have a sponsor. Just a bit off the wall, really, to be fair with you. And I was working in this busy, you know, drug service. And I used to banter with this guy. I used to banter with him. And, you know, as time went on, the banter he started getting a bit more leery. And I used to just have a little joke. We had a fight. And one day I remember I had an altercation with him in this kind of like meeting room. And I remember closing the door, like, no, and I looked at him and like the real streak come out. I said, are you talking to like? And he kind of backed down a bit, and I did not open the door. Like I stood behind the door so he couldn't get out. Then I backed down, and I could see he was afraid, and I just let him out. And I thought, right, calm down, Michael, now. And as time went on, I cannot remember. I can tell you now, I cannot remember what he said. I can remember what I did. And with the offices, the open plan offices, many more people than there are here. Loads of people, busy office. And I just remember him saying what he said, and I had a bottle on my table, and I picked up and I went after him, and I started chasing him around the office.
Press the button, green button. Sorry.
No, it's okay. And people kept saying to me, when I was chasing him around the building, around the open plan office now, all I could hear people saying, Michael, stop. Michael, stop. That's all I could hear. And I remember having them against the wall, and I had the bottle, and these doctors and these nurses are trying to pull me. I said, Michael, stop. And I just stopped. I just walked back to my desk. That's okay. It's okay. And I sat down on my desk, and there was a swivel chair, and I remember the swiveling like this, and everyone was around him. You okay? And nobody came to me, and I just knew it was done. I knew it was done. It was done, and I just got up, just walked out, just jumped in my car, and I knew it was going to happen. I got the call, don't come back. I knew it. Don't come back. We don't want that here. You're suspended. And I remember being at home, and I was thinking, man, this is it. I've thrown it all down the pan now. Then the pandemic kicked in. My wife was going through some stuff at the moment at her organisation. She was going through a lot of trouble at the time, and she was about to. They were pushing her out, basically. They were literally pushing her out. The financial insecurity kicked in, because I'm thinking, I've lost my job now. It's all gone. I heard through the grapevine by speaking to people he's going to press charges. I'm thinking, no, I'm getting a charge now, because it was bad. I'm thinking, I'm getting a charge. I'm going to lose my job. It's going bad. It's going to go all wrong. And I knew at that time I had to do something. I knew I had to do something about my recovery. And then the pandemic came in, everything kind of shut down, and everything kind of went online. And I got a commitment, which I still got today, and I hold it dearly. And by taking a meeting online, and I thought, let me just take this meeting online. I've got to do something. I'm just sitting at home doing nothing. Then I took this meeting, and I started taking this meeting, and I started meeting people, because it was a global meeting. I started meeting people around the world, and I had an opportunity to go back through the work again. And that's what I done. I went back through the work. I went through the step working guide of a group of individuals, and it was mixed, men and women actually. And what the guy that, I don't say he ran the group, but the guy that kind of started the group, he said, look, are you willing to go to an event, Michael? He met with me individually. I said, of course I am, but they're going to be women in the group. Are you going to be okay? I said, I don't care. Because I knew what had happened to me. I knew what I've been through. And I started going through the work. And what happened, I found a new interest into the literature. And the literature started speaking to me, and I just started to really engross myself in the program. And managed to get a sponsor, and started working through the program again, And while that investigation, all that stuff was going, it feels like a bit of a blur now. But at the time, I just felt really held, and I felt okay about it. I had some savings, thank God. And I said to my wife, I sat down, I said, look, we're going to be okay, I said, regardless, we're going to be okay. And I slowly started getting into private work, very slowly I started getting into private work. And it just started to develop. The private work started to develop, And then I had an interview, and they basically said to me I can't remember, they gave me like a warning basically. And I thought, sod it, I don't want to go back. Don't want to go back there. Just thought, And I didn't want to blame the guy, but I took my responsibility. And I had to meet with him, and I just really said, look, and I really hated this guy. And I put him on my list, man, and a few others on my list at that time. Because before that, kind of jumping back a bit, I kind of ripped this geezer off, man. I was doing loads of parties, and I ripped this geezer off. And he was on my list, man, and I'd done lots of parties with him. And I used to justify ripping him off because he never used to do no work. I said to my brother, he ain't doing no work. And it was stupid, a little tenner, scores, nothing. But still, it's wrong. And I had to put him on my list. So I had this guy who I chased, and I had this guy, and I had to make amends to them. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I realised the power of the second and the third step, actually. I realised the power of the second and the third step. Because what I'd done, I came to meetings, I asked for help, and you guys told me what I needed to do. And through that process, I was able to make amends to those guys, and I felt all that process, I was really held. And, that group was really special to me, because that group held me all through that process. And then when they said to me, you can come back, I thought, no, I'm not coming back. And I just jacked it in. I just thought, I don't want to come back, guys. I'm going to continue. And I continued doing what I was doing. And I built a really, I say a successful business. It's good. It works really well. And but with that comes with different challenges. different challenges as well, you know, and as time went on, you know, obviously through the COVID period, and you know, work's really busy, you know, I'm doing really, really, really well, you know, and you know, my son, you know, he starts drinking quite a bit. He starts drinking quite heavily, and my wife is like, Michael, talk to him. I'm like, what do you want me to say, man? What do I say to this guy, you know? And he's my stepson, and we have conversations about it, and in a way, it's very hard for me, because when I'm speaking to him, it sounds weird, but I feel like a bit of a fraud, because I look at how I was, and he ain't nothing like me, but at the same time, I want to support him. I'm like, how do I do it? And I had to be a husband, and I ain't been that great of a husband, if I'll be honest. I do my best, you know, and during that period of time, you know, you're locked down and you're in each other's face. She basically said, look, Michael, I found a counsellor, we've got to go and speak to them. And I'm like, why do we need to speak to a counsellor? I don't get it. You know, I don't understand. And we sit down with this person and they start pointing out to me about who I am as a husband. The point I'm trying to make is that since coming into recovery, all I've done is just learn. Just learn how to be this human being to live in this world, because I have no clue. And I've needed you guys, other professionals, to help me do it, and also my higher power, you know. And as time goes on, you know, I attend these couple sessions during COVID, and things get better. And I think, let's stop again, and then before you know it, things return back. And it's always her calling me, come on, we gotta go again. She called me the other day, funny enough, about 2 weeks ago. She lost her rag, and she called the therapist. She goes, look, we're meeting her on this day and this time. And I just turn up, man. Just turn up. Just like I come here, I just learn to turn up. You know what I mean? You know, and I don't go through the motions. I get vulnerable and I get honest and share my truth and how life is living with someone. She's not in recovery, and she's going through her stuff, as women do of her age. And my sponsor said to me, you need to learn about it. And I thought, come on, man, you know, I've got to learn about that. Actually, really, you know. And I haven't learned about it, I'm going to be honest. I haven't done that. I haven't.
You will when everyone
you know, it's a roller coaster. It could be, and you know, we work together. You know, we run the business together, and it's very hard. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, we sometimes have huge disagreements, and I have to practice the program, not perfectly, not all the time, to back down. And sometimes I say to myself, why am I the one that always back down? Why am I the one that backs down? And I have to remember I'm the one with the program. Simple as that. It's just luck of the draw, you know. And she does work on herself as much as she can, you know. And I guess, you know, my journey of recovery up to date has been one of just a huge roller coaster, acknowledge. I think, you know, my neighbour, just to kind of wrap up, my neighbour, I saw 2 ambulances outside my neighbour's house. They live opposite. Yesterday, and I knew something went right. And I went out and I saw, like, the daughter, they don't live there no more. The daughter don't live there no more, and they were there. And I just walked over and I said, is everything okay? And they said, no, my dad. She said, her dad passed away. And at that moment, what just brought up for me was my mum. You know, my mum died, like, literally just over 18 months ago. And that was tough, man. Because my mum was like, she was there from the beginning of my using to the end. And one of the things I said at her funeral, I was like, well, it's like 18 and a half, 19 years clean, I can't remember now. And I said, my mum's has seen me clean for a huge part of my time. Huge part. And I know she was really proud of me, you know. And what comes with, you know, loss with a parent is with difficulties and challenges, because there's properties and I got in the mix of all that. My brother, it's a long story, I won't go into it. And I was speaking to my brother for a while, and I was angry with him because I felt he owed me money. And I had to do a lot of work around that, Rose. I had to, like, because it was a lot of money. I'm greedy, man, right? I'm greedy. And I wanted that money. And a good friend here, you know, I shared with him. And I had to do a lot of letting go, man. Like, different layers. I'll let go next time I think about it and I think, dare. You know what I mean? He owes me that money, he's taking the... And I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand. I'll give it, yeah, and I'll be cool. And then boom, it hits me again. You know, and I'll get resentment after resentment, write it down, let go, pray. And then guess what he done? He called me one day and he goes, bruv. I said, what? He goes, I put the money in your account. I put the money in your account. And I think what I'm going to conclude with is that actually, it's through the faith of this program from you guys, the God of my understanding, the fellowship that has held me every step of the way. Because other than that, I would have probably lost it and done something silly. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.